So we want to talk on now and continuing about the best tips to winterize your house or your condo in Chuck's case and many others. So some of the simple things that we go, and feel free, gents, to jump in if you've got some advice. Check and clean your gutters because that's a source of water overflowing and ice and then having problems.
Right.
When leaves and other debris clog your gutters, if you can cause water to pool and freeze, and as it freezes it creates icicles and ice dams, so that can, and falling icicles can also hurt you. Also, set your fans to rotate clockwise, right, so it's pushing the air up and around the room.
Right.
Okay. Replace your air filters, and that's a reminder for me to do that as well, because that's a way of inefficient heating and air conditioning. Well, in this case, heating. Caulk window gaps, and consider if you want insulation film if you see a window gap. And then we've talked about on the previous show those things that fit under your door. I don't know what they're called. You can
I mean, I've heard them called draft dodgers. I mean, it's basically like a giant piece of weather stripping. And I think you were talking about one of the last shows about getting one that's actually held onto the Velcro, which is a nice thing. Yeah, that's a nice setup.
I don't know if it works as well as the one that has two tubes, one that goes outside and one goes inside, but I'll let you know on that.
Okay.
Another suggestion is drain your water heater. Now, I'm not sure that the average person wants to go through that, but all year long, the water heater is building up with minerals and sediment with heat, and you can force a water heater to work harder and heat your water hotter. Do you suggest doing that as well?
So, it's interesting. We get this. If you've got a water heater that's any age at all and you've never done that, just be prepared that when you open that valve's not going to close. Okay. So if you decide you want to do a regular drain to get the sediments and the rust, potential rust out of there, just make sure that you may not be able to close that valve. Those things will stick when they're not operated regularly. They will become a problem, and now you've got a repair cost with that valve. So just proceed cautiously on that. Make sure you can shut the water off to that tank before you start trying to drain it out.
Good point. Finally, in our group of these suggestions, insulate exposed plumbing pipes, check hoses and faucet for leak. And when it gets down to sub-zero temperatures, Brad, and you've got an outside exposed vanity with plumbing underneath it, what are your suggestions?
Well, I always keep, I've got a couple of two sinks in my house that are on exterior walls. So what I do is I keep the cabinet doors open at night, and I keep the water, running. And I know we've debated on how much water. I mean, I use, just basically the width of a skinny pencil, that much water flowing through it, because water's cheap. Ruptured pipes are expensive, so maybe I use more water than some, but just anything you can do to get a little bit of heat into those enclosed spaces by opening those cabinet doors and running water, that'll be a big help. The other one, there are a lot of washing machines that are also on the outside walls. Those are very, very susceptible to rupturing too. So that's another area to watch, is your laundry room. Just make sure you don't have an exposed pipe there.
Am I right in saying that if the laundry room is in the basement against bricks, you're fine, right?
You're fine there. Yeah, ground temperature is going to be in the low 50s.
Yeah,
in a basement, so you shouldn't have a problem there, unless it's the part if you've got water pipes that stand up above ground level in the wall there. That's where it'll be colder than the actual up against the foundation.